definition. What are we on? Human rights.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Meet Your Elected Officials, number 2 from the League of Women Voters. I'm Ruth Ann Webster, currently serving as president of the League. The League of Women Voters is a local, state, and national nonprofit, nonpartisan political organization. We encourage active and informed participation in government, and we influence public policy through education and advocacy. We educate voters, and we defend democracy. Tonight's format, the Meet Your Elected Officials format, second of a series of 3, is a little bit different. It's a little new to us. During the election season, I think people are very familiar with our candidates forums, where candidates for elected office are invited to attend and answer questions, some pre-prepared by our league, and some from the general public. This is different. These folks have been elected. They're serving in their roles as the school board for our District 88. What we want you to meet them. We want you to hear from them. We would like people to hear about the challenges that they face and the successes and victories that they've had. In January, we hosted the city council and the mayor, and we had a lot of fun. It's always a good time when people are laughing at the end. So I hope we have a similar cheerful, happy time. Tonight we're hosting the members of the District 88 School Board who were able to attend. And in March, on Monday, March 23rd, we will host the Brown County Commissioners. Same time, 7 o'clock, same place here in City Council Chambers, here in City Hall. Now, each of those will be broadcast by NewCat, and NewCat will post those videos on their YouTube channel. KNUJ will be rebroadcasting this event tomorrow night. Our New Ulm Journal is here to report. And I just have to say, for the entire league, we are extremely grateful for the media that supports us, and we hope to support them. Now, in planning these forums, we decided to ask each group of participants the same questions. Those questions were given to them in advance. And these questions are intended to be broad rather than narrow, general rather than specific. How these folks, you folks, choose to respond will, we hope, educate the public on the work that you all do, the challenges that you face, and the pride that you take in your work. So one more thing about League before we get started. These 3 forums are a part of a broader effort we're calling Empowering Voters. We are committed to providing accurate, straightforward, nonpartisan information to voters about elections, about the voting process, about current issues for our democracy. You may have seen our first published article in the New Ulm Journal. Empowering Voters explains the caucus system. That was in last week. So, and for more information about our league, go on Facebook page or our website, which is www.newulmlwv.org. So, ready to get started? Everybody? You ready to get started?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Now, to begin, I would appreciate it if each of you, and we'll start with Sarah. Each of you just give your name and what position you hold on the school board.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for having us. This is an exciting opportunity for us to be able to talk about what we do on the board and meet more League of Women Voters members as well. I'm Sarah Leslie. I am a board member. I am a alumna of the New Ulm Public School System. And I have 2 children in the public school system. I have an 8th grader and a 5th grader. And this is my first term. I just finished up my first year of my first term. It has been drinking from a fire hose. It was definitely it's been a steep learning curve. It's been fun, but I'm lucky that we have a very tenured board and very friendly board that's been able to show me the ropes. And
Okay, thank you. Amanda?
Yeah, I'm Amanda Grebner, and this is my 8th year on the school board. I have 2 children that my last one just graduated, but I have quite a few nieces and nephews in the school system, so I'm still very invested in the school system. I am the clerk of the school board, which means my signature is on most everything. I'm responsible for making sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted and things are signed. And Michelle Johnson in our district office helps me out a lot with that. So I'm very grateful for her. But yes, I am the clerk. So if you ever get anything from the school board signed, it's my signature.
Good, thank you, Amanda. Christy?
I'm Christy DeWantz. Thank you as well, repeating what Sarah said. I've had 4 children graduate from New Ulm Public. I also did. And again, I was appointed in 2013. I am a board member.
Good, thank you. Matt?
My name is Matt Ringhofer, and this is my 14th year
Oh, my God.
on the board. And to Sarah's point, a severe learning curve it is for all of us when we get on. You don't know what you don't know until you get there. And I think for us, it was part of it was it takes about 4 years to kind of figure things out. So then you better run again, since they are 4-year terms. And it's been really good. And I think the other thing, I have also had 2 kids that went through New Ulm Public School System. Both have graduated and are in different places studying their own areas of interest now. And thank you for hosting. It's great to have a good show with our community here too.
Good, thank you. I'll follow the same pattern that Linda Heine, who hosted last time, did. And since we started with Sarah, we'll start now with Amanda and go around in a circle. So,
Okay.
all right, Amanda, your first question, and most of you answered that. How long have you served on the school board? You can say that again. And please share a highlight of your service for this last year.
Oh, let's see. This last year, what have we done this last year? Man, I don't know. You guys have to help me out. I don't know. My highlight, I guess, is just being on the board with our other members. We are a really good board. We work well together. We have all kinds of different beliefs and backgrounds, but our main goal is the students, and we know each other from outside of the board. We make it a priority to know who each other is outside of the board, so we know where they're coming from when we have discussions. And so we all know that everybody has the students at heart, and when we make decisions, even if it might not be unanimous, it's okay. We just move forward as a board, and that's the decision, and we all get along. It's been really nice to be on a board that not acts this way, but interacts with each other this way.
Okay. Christy, be sure to get right up into that microphone.
Okay, is that better?
Thank you, Christy. What was you got a highlight? You were appointed.
I was appointed, yes. There was an individual that needed to step down, and so then there was an application process at that point. I agree with everything Amanda said as far as working together. There's a lot of respect and support between the board members. I always like to look back at how the kids did, and so seeing the success of our students from fine arts, for example, our Knowledge Bowl team did well last year, our athletics teams, and then graduation is always a high point to see the students.
Okay. Good. Matt, I'm going to ask you to thank you so much. What about you've been on the board for a long time. Good grief, Yeah. What about a highlight for this last year?
So one of the things we did last year, and this we saw a lot of really positive things happen. In reflecting back specifically, we had we met as a board and we did some like development of what we could do better, what we need to do more of, different things that we can do within the district. And so some of the things we added within the last even 2 years is we added students to our board. So there's student board reps. And they're really, really, it's awesome to have. That's probably one of my highlights of the meeting is hear them talk about their time in the school, what they enjoy, the upcoming events, sports, all the things. It's just, that's been really, really fun.
Okay.
We're also doing some things as a board as far as getting together. We're trying to go to other communities and watch their boards in action so we can see how they operate and do business. And that's been good. And then, oh gosh, there's been a lot of really good things. And the theater, the all the performances, there's a lot of things that continue to evolve and are just, they're fun to go watch and be a part of.
Great, great, great. This next question will start with Christy.
Sarah?
Did it? Oh, I goofed. I've already made a mistake. All right, or more. First one. Go ahead.
I mean, as I said, this has been like drinking from a fire hose. So everything has been, I don't know if I can pick a highlight because there's just been so much information. But I had the privilege of being on the negotiations team for contracts, and that's not something I've never been a part of. It's really kind of, if you want to see how the sausage is made, is be on the negotiations team. There's a lot of, there's so much that goes into it that I certainly did not know, of course, before I joined the board, and probably the larger community just doesn't know all of the conversations and all the hard work that both the different bargaining units and the school board do to really try to get to a place that everybody can be happy with, that keeps us financially solvent, but also retains quality teachers. And I really learned a lot. I had some great co-negotiators to teach me the ropes, because I definitely was out of my depth starting out with that. But it was a challenging but also very valuable learning experience, and so I did appreciate that.
Okay, good. Thank you. Can I move on to the next one? Sorry. Okay. Well, the next question, and it might be a hard one, difficult to listen to. What issue concerns you the most? Christy, do you want to start as you look forward?
Well, I don't think we can narrow it down to just one ever, but budgets and mental health concerns. To start with, we have great programs and opportunities for our students, but looking into the future, we're going to need to keep an eye on those budgets carefully, and we may need to reduce spending. Hopefully, it can be done in a way that doesn't involve reducing staff or cutting programs for our kids. The mental health of our staff and students is also a concern. We need to be aware of the needs and provide support for all students. It also includes everyone feeling safe in our buildings.
Okay, good. Thank you. Matt, what are your concerns?
Yeah, I think when you start talking about mental health and not just of the kids, the teachers. I mean, this isn't an easy profession for people to go into, and I think one of the things I worry about always, just being in education myself, is burnout. It's hard, and you want to have really good people in place to support these kids that come to us. So that's always a challenge. Finances, every year it just seems to get tighter as far as where the money goes, how much comes in. Where to spend it, and of course being very mindful of how to spend it wisely. Having a good finance manager is very, very important. We've got a new one here in the last year or so. Matt Moline came on board, and he's very in tune with. He loves numbers, and oh my gosh, it's a lot of information, but it's very thorough and very good. So having a sound person in charge of running all that and watching all that and then reporting to the superintendent and being very mindful of all those moving parts is a big deal.
Okay, good. Sarah, what concerns you looking
Yeah.
forward?
I mean, a lot of this is just echoing what has already been said, but I think funding is always an issue. I think schools are asked to do more and more with the same funding, right? We're taking on a lot of supporting students in their mental health and all these things. You know, obviously education is really important too, but there are unfunded mandates or not fully funded mandates that are put out by the state. And so our funding doesn't necessarily reflect all of the new things that we're asked to do as a board and that we're asking teachers to do and that sort of thing. So I think, you know, that's a big issue. One thing that came through very loud and clear during negotiations is the rising cost of insurance. It is not tenable. You know, we as a district would love to be able to provide really good insurance packages, but like every other profession, you know, we're dealing with increased insurance premiums that make it harder and harder to be able to provide, you know, a competitive package. And so I think, boy, if I had one thing I'd like people to take from this is we really need people, not just school board members and not just the teachers, but people really advocating for some better insurance coverage, some better insurance program in this state because, you know, we're a small district. It doesn't take much for our insurance premiums to go up because we don't have a lot of people in the risk pool. And so, you know, that's just not tenable for smaller districts. And so if you can take something out of this, please think about that.
Good. Thank you. Amanda?
So I am a huge fan of The West Wing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that show. And so Sam Seaborn in there, he has this quote, and he says, "Education is the silver bullet. Schools should be palaces. The competition for the best teachers should be fierce. They should be making six-figure salaries. Schools should be incredibly expensive for government and absolutely free of charge to its citizens, just like national defense. But I haven't been able to figure out how to do it yet." And that is basically my biggest concern about education going forward. Same thing, the funding and the lack of teachers and staff in education. I feel like teachers are getting overwhelmed. They're not feeling valued. They're turning to other avenues of work. Not just our teachers. I'm talking about. I'm talking about kids that are in school now. There's not very many kids that want to go into education nowadays. So that's a really fundamental issue, and we need to change that. But I haven't figured out how to do it. But one of the things is making sure that they're valued, and that a lot of that has to do with how we value their work and how we value how they're paid. And so I think governments need to allocate more money to districts so that teachers can be paid more fairly.
Good. Thank you. All right. Next question, we'll start with Matt. What decisions at the state and federal level affect District 88?
So it's always about the money, follow the almighty dollar. And that impacts decisions they make at the state level, always impact the amount that districts get per student dollar, pupil dollars. And so, and that because that changes so much, you know, a group gets in and things kind of are moving along, and then things can shift very quickly with who's in charge or who's running or representing an area. And so that can shift a lot of things around. Repeat that last part of the question.
Oh, the state and federal. What decisions at the state and federal level affect your work at District 88?
Making sure that we have the resources, not just the financial aspect of it, but the appropriate resources, whether it's people for mental health or liaison officers. That's local, of course. So there's a lot of different moving parts that sometimes then all of a sudden there's a liaison officer and it's funded, and there was a snafu a few years ago where all of a sudden they couldn't be in schools for some language pieces, and then it got shifted again. And so it's always changing, but it's always impacting.
Okay. Thank you. Sarah, as the new person, what have you noticed about decisions made at the state and federal level that affect your work?
Yeah, I can't say that I've seen too much yet. I mean, I think with the current administration being fairly new, I am very concerned about cutting the Department of Education, which doesn't necessarily, I think there's this misconception that maybe the Department of Education dictates curriculum, and that is not true. Like, districts dictate curriculum. We get standards from the state, from the Minnesota Department of Education, not from a national Department of Education, but there are elements of the Department of Education nationally, the federal Department of Education, that help with ensuring access to free, good education for our children with special needs. And I am very concerned about whether changes in the Department of Education on a national level are going to impact our funding, down the line for students that have more needs. We do know special education is much more expensive. It's much more there's many more resources are spent on special education, and we need all of those resources. We need all that funding for those students to be able to provide, that equitable education for them. And so I am concerned that there are things that maybe haven't come to fruition yet, but I think the signaling is there, that there is an appetite to reduce some of that from the federal level. So I think with the Minnesota government, they're kind of holding strong there so far, but I am concerned about what could happen in the next few years.
Thank you. Amanda?
One of the things some of the main things that come out of the state legislature that affect us are like curriculum and testing. They dictate what the standards are and what we teach and how we test our students. They dictate our teacher licensures. So they can change how teachers are licensed and, the different grade levels and that kind of thing. And they can dictate so for an example, they just made a requirement that we have to have financial literacy in schools. And that has to be, I believe that has to be a separate course. Does it, or can that be embedded in? I can't remember. They've made some changes where they are requiring schools to do specific things, and sometimes they're requiring specific courses, and sometimes they require them to be just embedded in your. And that comes and when those things happen, if they're requiring a specific course, that takes away other courses that we can offer our students. So that could take away an elective. So a student might not be able to take a music class or an art class if their schedule is filled up with classes that they need to take. So oftentimes we advocate as school boards for local control, where you say you need to teach this, but it's up to you in your district how you fit it in, what makes it best, how it fits in best in your curriculum. And that just helps school districts with staffing. They might have to find a whole other teacher if a new class is required. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen, and I don't think legislators fully understand that when they are making the laws and making the changes. They don't understand how that affects schools on the baseline.
Okay. Thank you. Christy?
Like everyone has said, the changes trickle down, and there are many decisions made at the state level that affect our district. One example is the READ Act, which was implemented in 2023, and it's all staff are now going through the process. But and the READ Act changes how we provide screenings and reading interventions for all of our students. The goal of the READ Act is a good one. It's to have every Minnesota student reading at or above grade level each year, beginning in kindergarten. But what it does is it talks about the mandates. So all staff need to take this training, but it doesn't necessarily fund it. And now we've added another huge training, ongoing training for our staff. And where do you fit that into the day?
Okay.
So that's just one example of the changes that the state can implement, and then it has a big impact on the districts.
Okay, good. Thank you. Now, this is intended to be more of an upbeat answer to this question.
Yeah.
You know, looking to the future, what are you most excited about, and what do you hope to accomplish? Sarah?
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I think the READ Act is a really good example of a course correction that needed to happen, and there's been some, consequences of having to fit it in, but I'm excited to see how that shift benefits the students, because we kind of know the old way wasn't really the right path. It wasn't really helping students achieve the reading levels they needed. And so I'm excited to see how this changes things, and hopefully gets kids reading better. So I'm excited about that. But I'm personally, on a personal level, just looking forward to continuing to learn. I think, what you said earlier about it takes 4 years to understand. And I was thinking about that. I was like, boy, I feel like one term wouldn't be enough. Like it'd just be getting started. So figuring my way out. But yeah.
Good. Amanda?
I'm just excited about our kids. I just look, I don't have kids in school anymore, but like I said, I have nieces and nephews, and I follow all of the social media pages for the wrestling and the arts and all of that stuff, and they are doing so great. It's so fun to see them go to state and go to the conference and have, you know, records and basketball and all of those things. And it's really fun to see all the different avenues that our kids have to express themselves. It's not just sports. They can do Knowledge Bowl. They can do theater. They can do music. We're working on robotics and speech. We're trying to increase the number of things that our kids can be involved in so that all kids feel like they belong and they have a safe space in their school. And I want to make sure that we continue that our programs are strong, our arts programs are strong, our music programs are strong. So I'm excited for that. I love like Matt said, I love hearing the students give their updates at the meetings, and they run the list through what they've been doing in school, the different fun days that they've been having, and that kind of thing. Yeah. I even like going to the recorder concerts at the schools. I think those are fun.
Good. Christy?
I am excited to see where the CTE Center is going to take us. The curriculum there is being reviewed, and these courses can change the path for some of our students. They're working on making, I don't want to say improvements, but enhancing the hands-on training that they get. They might get college credit. They might get certification credits. And so for some students, they may be able to go directly into the workforce with that skill that they need. Some of them might try something at the CTE Center and realize that this is really not something that they want to do, which is also a huge bonus for them when they start looking for where they're going to go next.
And for those of us who don't follow things like that carefully, why don't you tell us what the CTE?
Career and technical
Okay,
education.
good. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, Matt?
A lot of stuff was covered. I think it's watching the new programs come in and different things that are added to give opportunities. The trap shooting, that's crazy huge right now. And that just started, last 3-4 years? Is it about that? Yeah, like that. Watching the different plays. We went to the one-act play I don't know, was it a week or two ago? There's just a lot of really great kids doing a lot of really cool things. And it's fun to watch.
Great. All right, we've got time for the bonus question. We've got the most laughs at the city council.
Okay.
So, all right, here we go. There's your challenge. Starting with Amanda. Share something about you or your role in the school board that your constituents may not be aware of.
Our board has a lot of fun together. We try to go and do things together every year. The Minnesota School Board Association puts on a conference in January, and our school board goes every year as a group. We're one of the few school boards in the state that all of us try to make it. This year, one person was unavailable due to work. But otherwise, we go there as a group. We hang out in the evenings. We don't talk business because that's against the rules. But we just get to know each other on a one-to-one basis. And we talk about our families and our backgrounds and all of that. And that was what I was talking about earlier. We really know who each other are at the core. And so we understand where they're coming from when we're making decisions. And we have a really good time. We laugh a lot and stay up way too late. And but it's a fun time.
All right, great. Christy, what about you?
Well, mine is more work related, but our board, we do one study session a month, and that gives us the opportunity to learn about different things going on in the district, each individual school. We get updates from our booster groups. And if there's a topic that we want to learn more about, then we talk to the superintendent, and he potentially can line that up for us. So it's always a good learning tool. And then the second meeting of the month is our action, our business meeting. So it's a good way for us to learn, ask a lot of questions.
Good. Matt?
I'm going to have you repeat the question so I cover some of those
What
details.
tell us something about you, or
yeah.
about your distance to the microphone so
Sure.
everybody can hear you. That people might not know. What might not people know about you?
I drove Greyhound buses for 5 years.
There you go.
It's true. It was hard, and then school buses too. But we laugh a lot. There's a lot of very, very serious things that go on, and we take all those things. We don't take them lightly. But when it's time to relax and connect with one another, I think this board does a really good job of that. I poke fun at everybody, including myself, all the time, and it just keeps the mood and the tone a little bit better within our board. Yeah, it's been really good. To our board's credit, I sit at a meeting and we'll go around and it seems like a lot of times when we do the live business nights, typically Thursdays, last Thursday of the month, it seems like it's kind of like, yep, we just go through and do our thing. There's a lot of work that happens outside those meetings. We're all on 3+ committees away from there. And so at those meetings, and they're all open to the public, but at those meetings there's just a lot of questions and a lot of stuff we do pre-meeting. So when we get to the meeting, we're all ready to present our reports on each subcommittee that we're involved in. And then just being able to, Sarah or John or whoever on our board, they'll ask questions. I'm like, God, that's a really, really good question. I wish I'd thought about it. But then it's asked, and I'm learning and growing because of the board that we have. So I'm grateful for them.
Good, thank you. Sarah, will let you tell people something about yourself or about your role on the board that they might not know.
Well, I'm the person on the board who likes to go to bed the earliest, and that was discovered during the board the board conferences.
That's not a new thing.
No, that might surprise people. I don't know. But I actually spent a summer getting paid by the National Science Foundation to give rats LSD. So that's probably my one fact that nobody probably knows about me. Prior to being in pharmacy school, so.
All right. Great. Well, that's all I've got. Does anybody want to give one more secret out? Otherwise, we'll close it up.
Oh God. gosh, I don't know. I made my own rock in
There we
Hawaii.
go. Gosh, this has just been wonderful. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Journal, for being here. Thank you, NewCat, for taping. Thanks to KNUJ for rebroadcasting, and thank you for taking time. One thing I found out is how busy you are. Oh my gosh, 3+ committees. Oh dear. And thank you for taking this time. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and don't forget. We hope to see you on Monday, March 23rd for the County Commissioners. Same time, same place.
Thank you.
Great, yay.